The evening after, the afternoon before. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pulse from Iron. I'm Gatesy. I always get confused at this one. That one's Duke.
Good evening,
and
sir.
The one below Duke is Mr. Andy Miles, who, be gentle with him, guys. He's feeling a little bit rough today. I think he might have been celebrating.
Yeah.
Oh, well, self-inflicted, Miles.
You okay, Steve?
No.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Raring to go.
I was drinking the new Captain Morgan's with pineapple in.
Oh, the tiki.
Yeah.
Jazz has got a lot to answer for with this bloody rum pandemic.
Well, don't show me, Gatesy. Oh, don't. Even the look of it's making me feel.
Oh, you evil man!
We've got in 12 months from being relegation candidates to Europa League qualifiers. I think that's a reason to celebrate, isn't it?
I think it might be.
Yeah,
Talk to me, Duke.
Better.
Mate, I tell you, I watched the game yesterday. Obviously, as you know, we were there together, albeit on different tables. And it was, other than, I'd say, as I said to you, other than maybe the first, maybe 10 minutes, dominant, absolutely dominant performance. I know in the first 10 minutes they had, 7, 8 shots, one of which was on target. Other than that, mate, it was an absolute dominant performance. One of which was, it was a performance that was worthy of qualifying for Europe and top 6 in the Premier League, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there was a couple of, the one-on-one that Minamino had with Fabianski, when he put that past Fabianski, I'm going, oh no. And then it's just sort of gone past the post, and I was like, oh, maybe Lady Luck's actually on our side for once. And once Pablo got the goal after half an hour, it was pretty much in the bag from there on in. I mean, I didn't from that point on have any doubts that it was going to be 3 points for us. I don't know about you. So, we've just got Mark has just jumped into the chat. Hope you're well, Mark. And we've also got Mr. Scott Venn. Look, he's got an evening off, but he had to work late to get it. And he agrees with Sir Andy. We are effing massive.
Been saying it all along. Saying it all along.
And we were talking about rum earlier, and we all know whose fault it is. It's this chap. Jazz.
Oh.
You're mobile.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah, no, mate. I'm top of the morning. Top of the morning. How about yourself?
I spent 20 minutes trying to get into StreamYard, mate.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's always messing around with my Facebook, YouTube password, and I always struggle.
Oh dear. So, Jazz, you're because you're mobile. I don't know whether your signal's going to hold up, so I'll come to you first. Your thoughts on yesterday's game?
Yeah, really good. Yeah, well deserved. Kind of got the prize I think the club deserved, and it's a little bit better than we thought. So Europa's better than Conference, but a lot of mixed feelings. Really happy, really excited about the European journey we're going to go on. Really good win, but when you look at it, we finished 2 points off the Champions League, and that is so close. And you can look at various things. I always go back to January and still feel two bodies over the line. We would have done it when we lost Antonio and Rice. It was difficult. You can look at the Arsenal game, the 3-3. You can look at the Brighton game, but I just blame Sullivan. I think he should have got the 2 bodies over the line. Really helped the manager, and we've got Champions League. And I don't know if you're ever going to get that close again, but hopefully this is a start of a journey where the board will support the manager, and because we've got a taste for it now, We don't want to finish mid-table anymore. We don't want to be in the bottom 10 anymore. We want to hit that top 6 again.
Yeah.
And with the structure of the club, the backroom team, the manager, it's only the board and Sullivan that's in the way now. And I'm not too confident about how much money we're going to get. But really happy, and I think we deserved it. But just ironic when you think just 2 points off the real prize, isn't it? Very close, but very proud of everyone. It's been a long season, mate. Long season.
Yeah. Well, we was discussing before we hit the go live button on StreamYard. The reports are, if what has been put in Claret and Hugh is to be believed, that we've got £85 million there or thereabouts for David Moyes to spend in the summer, and that's assuming that Gold and Sullivan don't put an extra couple of bob into that pot. I mean, if I come to you there, Milesy, your thoughts? Do you believe that figure?
Only if it's David Moyes' players what he wants. If he desperately wants, for example, Tammy Abraham or I can't see Tony coming now. To be honest, I think that one's sold.
Well, it depends on whether they come up, doesn't it? I mean, that's not certain.
I think they're coming up. To be honest, I think Swansea they're a good side, but I know it's a one-off game. But I think just Brentford will just have too much. They've been there so close before, and I think they might actually do it now this time. But it's like who do you go for? Say for example, it's the 85 million. Yeah. Let's just say 90 to round it up. Are we just looking at 3 world-class players to go into the 11? Then you're looking about 30 million each, because you don't want to be buying shit like what we did last time when we moved to the London Stadium. What was it? 11 players, and flipping none of them was successful in my opinion. Probably. Well, apart from my mate Faguli, who I loved.
Yeah, you did.
And then they sold him.
I thought he was beginning to look a little bit decent towards the end of that season, and then, like you say, we got rid of him. But I'll come to you, Steve, because obviously you was the one that tipped me off about that article on Claret and Hugh, and I mean, you know, I completely get what Epic said just a moment. I'll just get his comment back up. That Claret and Hugh is the board's mouthpiece. Don't believe the propaganda. Now, I think he has a point. You know, Claret and Hugh is pro board, it seems, in the main. So, you know, 85 million quid. That's probably more than I was expecting, to be fair. Do you think that that's an accurate figure, or what are your thoughts on that?
I actually listen to More Than Just a Podcast every week, and I know Sean Whetstone really divides opinion. But I'll say this much for him. He's consistent, and when everybody else is saying balled out, he just turned around and said, you know, it would be disingenuous of him to actually say balled out. Though he is now Brady out, he feels Karen Brady needs to move on. What do I think? I think it might, if it's out there through Claret and Hugh, I think they've probably been trying to say it, you know. And I could see it being around about 75, 85 million. And what really encourages me is what Moyes can do with that money. Moyes won't go out and do what Slaven did and get Jonathan Kaleri in, for instance. He won't. He just will not spend the money unless he thinks he can improve it. So I think 85 million is possible. And I think, to be honest with you, the board have got a taste of it this year. Now, I'm not pro-board. I'm not particularly anti-board. I'm one of these classic board neutral people, because wanting the board out, as I said before, is all well and good, but only if you've got the right people in. Look what's happened to so many other teams. Yeah, I could see us having 85 million. I could see Moyes spending it very, very well. And if he does, that'll make a big difference because there's going to be enormous strain on that squad playing Thursdays and Sundays. This is the downside of qualifying for the Europa League. We came sixth this season with nothing else to focus on. If you can do it again and be in Europa League, that's a massive achievement because look at some of the clubs who have qualified and have then struggled like crazy in the league. So, yeah, I'd be very interested to see what happens. He's already come out and said he wants Lingard, hasn't he? He came out yesterday.
I think that has to be his priority signing, doesn't it? I mean, he's fitted it. I know. Obviously, people have said, well, the last 5 games not so great, but for me, the player that we saw in the first 8 or 9, absolute bargain. If we can get him for 20 million, 25 million, whatever it is, and he can replicate that form for 2/3 of the season, that could be absolutely massive, couldn't it?
Yeah, and I think Lingard's come out and says he wants to stay. You know, I've read it through informal channels that Lingard's quite keen on staying. So we'll see what happens. But I think if he gets Lingard and another 2 or 3 quality players, or even decent players as cover with that sort of budget, we'd be okay. I mean, who knows?
I don't think Luke believes it's going to be around about the purported figure in Claret and Few. And to be fair, Luke, I'm a little bit sceptical about the figure of £85 million. But
do you think this figure is like them getting like 35 million for like Yarmolenko, Lanzini, and bloody thingy as well? Do you reckon that's why they've banded this up?
Quite possibly.
Wouldn't surprise me.
I mean, I don't mean to be funny about it, but I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I thought a figure of around about, I mean, someone said 60, 65 million a little while ago. I think that's probably more realistic. So, but yeah, I mean, like I say, that's what it said on Claret and Hugh. But whether you believe it is another matter. So, but yeah. So, but guys.
You've got to bear in mind. Yeah, you've got to bear in mind we're coming out of a global pandemic that has absolutely hammered everybody financially. So the prices for players, I just don't see them being as high as they have been historically. What was 30 million for a player? Well, who's going to buy him for that? Well, nobody can afford it. So it becomes 20 million. I don't know whether that will happen. And I think there are some people stick in and say we want 70 million for this player and suddenly find out they can't sell them because nobody can afford them. I think that could be a factor in all of this as well.
Yeah. Duke, 85 million. We could do an awful lot with that, couldn't we? But do you believe it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm just having a quick look through Twitter and you know, some of the
and I actually agree with what Foe's just put here, by the way, just for the record. I think when you actually go out and say, this is how much we've got to spend, it's like a game of poker. You don't turn around to the guy that's sitting opposite you and go, oh, I've got 2 aces or whatever. You know what I mean?
4 aces. 4 aces.
2 pair.
I never knew you could count Gatesy. Sorry.
He struggles after several rums. No, like I say, guys, I've just been having a look, and James the Anvil, he posted something earlier in relation to a guy called Dor Peretz from Maccabi Tel Aviv. He's out of contract this year. Yeah, Israeli fellas. Plays in a CDM role, out of contract, and we're apparently not necessarily in talks, but we've kind of reached out. He's got 10 goals and 9 assists. I mean, I'm not going to read too much into that because no disrespect. It is the Israeli league without being disrespectful. But we all know, you know, we've had a bit of luck coming out of the Israeli league. I mean, we had El Berkovic and back in the day, he was absolutely top class for us. Yossi Benayoun was another one.
Yeah,
you
but they
know,
didn't come straight from Israel, did they? In fairness,
well,
they, I mean, 'cause
Berkovic did. No,
was
Berkovic came from
went to
Maccabi
Southampton.
Haifa.
Yeah, but he
Oh,
was
he
on
came.
loan
Yeah,
at
no,
Southampton
all right.
before, wasn't he?
He came into the Premier League. That's what I meant.
Hmm.
So I mean, listen. Again, not reading too much into it. Another one we've been linked with is Thierry Nevers of Reading. Apparently, he's a Will Salthouse client. So, but apparently he's a youngster. He's turned down a new contract with them, and apparently we're in talks, or he's been banded to us. Junior Firpo
Yes,
from
I've heard this one.
Barca. So again, he's a good left back, 18 million quid. So if you're taking into consideration that, but then also Bertrand's available from Southampton on a freebie. So, there's deals to be had out there. There are deals to be had out there with regards to the freebies and a decent and a decent market that if Moyes plays it right and they leave it to Moyes to do what he needs to do, then yeah, you know what, I can see us even if we don't get if we get 75 million and that's it, with nothing else extra, or sales or whatever. Personally, I wouldn't sell those three players. I might let Yarmolenko go, but I wouldn't let the other two go. I think Lanzini's proved that he can play in that CDM position as part of a three, which saves the club £20 million on trying to find someone of a bloody good caliber. If we can get that door Peretz, then you've got cover for the two CDMs there in West and Souček. Touch wood, we keep both of them. So straight off the bat, there we are with the cover straight off the bat. So Jay, I'd take him all day long. Wouldn't even hesitate. He'd be the first one I'd go get if that was offered to us at that much money. All day long, I'm taking it. Do I think Ivan Toney would be ridiculously inflated? Yes. I think I agree with Fresh there. They're the key positions that really do need filling, whether you fill them as freebies, whether you take, spend a bit of cash there. I think a bit of cash needs to be
spent on a priority, though, out of those, isn't it? I mean, out of those 5 positions, I think if you had to prioritise one, it'd be the centre forward, wouldn't it?
But I'd be very clever with how I'm doing it, and you loan with obligations, like we did with what's his Ben Rama and Souček. Yeah, loan with an obligation to buy. We could quite easily fork out 10 million up front for 10 million up front for Tammy as part of the loan deal, with the obligation that in 12 months time we buy him for another 20 plus. If he scores 20 goals here, if he does this amount of assists, if he plays X amount of games, there's always those add-ons. Moyes could spread that money quite a long way with regards to being clever with the loans and obligations to buy. Again, not too concerned about wages, because I think Moyes again would be very clever with regards to some of that. There's talk of Arnie coming back on a freebie. You know what? All day long, I take him back. We discussed this the other day. Maximovic,
he'd be a backup, wouldn't he?
Oh, he would, but he'd be a good backup, Gatesy, to come off the bench and be a bastard, which is exactly what he was when he played for us. He was a bastard, and we loved him for it. And then when he was a bastard to us, we didn't like him. But you know what? For me, goalkeeper and striker are massively key. goalkeeper and striker are massively key. We saw that with Fabianski against West Brom. You know, pulls up.
Yeah.
It's not the first time it's happened in the last. It happened twice in the last 10 games, wasn't it? 8 games that he pulled
City
up
one,
in,
wasn't it?
Yeah. So
And then
for me,
Everton on New Year's Day as well.
yeah. So
Oh,
for
yeah.
me, it's key that we need to go out and get a goalkeeper again. You know, Areola at Fulham, they've gone down now. So you know, is he going to stay there if he's been given the option to play, you know, Europa League football for us? So I listen. All day long, there's money. There's bargains to be had. There's ways around working our transfer budget to our favour. But I do agree with what the guy said in the chat about, you know, putting that out there as a this is what we've got seems a very, very bad way of doing business, because all of a sudden, if we do move for Ivan Toney at Brentford, they know what we've got to spend and they can the price a little bit, you know. So let's wait and see. I've got all the trust in the Moisea. I think he's proven us all wrong from when he was appointed 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever it was now. You know, so and let's be honest, we've gone from relegation favourites at the start of the season to Europa League qualifiers, and not just qualifiers. We're in the Europa League proper. So he's done his job. Him and his backroom staff.
And this is what I want to come to. You've got the League Managers Association Awards coming up, so I'll go to Milesy. He's got to be one of the contenders, hasn't he? I mean, the job he's done has been absolutely first class.
The only one who I can see contending him is obviously you've got Pep, which he probably will win if they win a champion, even though it shouldn't be based on that. If they win the Champions League as well, I think he gets that award, which is really frustrating to me because they base it on other competitions. But I think it's Bielsa's now. Where we got Leeds finished, I think it's Bielsa's. If you think about Leeds coming straight back up and the amount of points, what was it? 3 points behind us they finished on, wasn't it? 3 or 4 points.
About that, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he deserves it, but I can see Bielsa getting it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I know what you're saying. I mean, sort of like the obvious candidate is Pep, and that's the easy one, isn't it? Oh, they've won the league, let's give it to him. But well, you know, he only improved them by one position. How many positions did David Moyes improve us by? 10?
No, exactly.
So, but there you go. Jazz, your thoughts? Is David Moyes, he's got to be one of the contenders for League Managers Association Manager of the Year, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think a number of top names have come out today and backed David to be the winner of any sort of awards coming up for the manager. So it's got to be David for me. Bielsa's okay, yeah, brought them up, but he didn't get into Europe or anything like that. So I think David Moyes would be the one. 2 points away from Champions League. Yeah, him for me, really. And going back to the transfer fund, I think don't forget we've got to sell some players. But if we get that amount of money, I'll be over the moon because I ain't got that much confidence in the board or Sullivan at the moment. Having said that, they have certainly did back Pellegrini and things like that. But, I mean, we're not counting in who we could actually get rid of to further boost that 80-85 that we're talking about. And then going back to Sean, Claret and Hugh, he's quite consistent and quite good with his sort of predictions. He's quite close to the ground. He knows what's going on behind the scenes at the club. And he has he was very pro-board in the past, but I think he's managed to come a little bit neutral now. But yeah, I mean, 4 lots of £22 million players. I think David doesn't need 50-60 million pound players, and we've seen 22, 25 each. That's more than enough for him. Not counting how many free transfers we can have. Yeah,
Jazz, I've got some bad news for you, mate. It was just announced a few minutes ago. It's been given to Guardiola.
Yeah, I mean that's what the head said, isn't it? Yeah.
It's the easy one, isn't it? But
why
I mean, Kent's just confirming it.
Why do they have the awards then? There's no point, is there? There's no point even going to these awards. Yeah, you're just gonna flip it. How many? Do you want it every single year now? Klopp probably won it, didn't
Well,
he, recently?
yeah, I don't know whether he won it last year, but I'm not being funny. I mean, you got a manager that 2 seasons earlier had won the league, and then the season before that he'd won the league. And all right, he didn't win it last season, but he finished second for God's sakes. And he's got an absolute bottomless pit of money. How hard can it be? I mean, seriously.
He's got
you've got David Moyes
a
that
very
walks into a club.
expensive. Go on, guys.
No, crack on.
I was to say he's got a very expensively assembled squad of some of the best players in the world. His job's pretty much half done for him, to be honest with you. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's still got to get the best out of those players, and watching him, watching him with Sterling after the cup final, where Sterling had just scored a hat trick to win Man City the FA Cup, and here he is still coaching him on ways to be better. So as a coach, I like Pep, and I'm not saying that it's not warranted for him, but like I say, his job's half done for him, really, with the players he's got and the assembly of this very expensive squad. I mean, I think Tom's right in what he's just said there. The man's never had a hard job in his career. I'd love to see how good a coach he is with a mid-table team and a mid-table budget. I mean, yeah. To be fair, I'd still think he'd be able to do a job for you. To be fair.
Yeah, but you've got to say that.
He's a good coach.
Yeah, I mean, when you've got a bottomless pit of money and you can buy literally any player walking the face of this earth, it makes your job an awful lot easier than a guy that's turned up to a club that almost got relegated the season before and hasn't got a pot to pee in. Surely.
Well, Diaz was 65 million, and the Bournemouth guy, Ake, he's played 2-3 games all season. He was 55 million. Just top of my head, that's 105, 110 that he's just chucked at one position. Like you said, it's crazy money that he's got. I mean, every fullback is like 60 million. It's crazy.
Well, the thing is, when Pep looks at his team and goes, I need to improve that position, you can say, right, who's the best in the world? I'll go and get them then.
Yeah.
That's got to make life easier, surely. But you wonder how Pep would do at a mid-table team. Although he's not the same calibre of manager, we have seen it a bit with Pellegrini, haven't we? He won the title with City, but couldn't do it with us. And we put more money into Pellegrini than we put into any other manager. Now,
yeah, but this is very much what's screwed over Moyes, isn't it? Because we've been burnt from the whole Pellegrini experience, so they're kind of reluctant to give the same money again to Moyes.
I don't think they've got it at the moment because of the pandemic. I mean,
exactly.
Big losses, and you can't keep going to the bank and saying, "Oh, can I have? My business is losing money. Can I borrow some more, please?" There comes a point the bank goes, "No.
We've got no assets, have we, to borrow against anyway? And they borrowed 1 or 2 million on the training ground already, and that's about it."
Yeah.
Well, you can't really borrow that much against porter cabins, can you?
I was about to say exactly that.
They're very nice.
They're nicely painted. Yeah, nicely done up.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
They're still fucking porter cabins.
Shop that was a porter cabin, didn't we, lads? Many years ago.
Oh, we had the club shop, didn't we? Yeah.
Club shop was a porter cabin. That's allowed.
Yeah.
How did he call it?
One more thing we wanted to ask.
Sorry, Steve.
How do we get in the league when we train from porter cabins? It's quite extraordinary, really.
It's nothing short of a miracle, in my opinion, and that's kind of why I think that David Moyes should have got it. But that's just me. What do I know? But Duke, so we're in the Europa League now. Obviously, we go into the group stage if what I've been told is correct. So
yes,
we've got 3 other teams in with us. Have you got any thoughts on who you'd like to pick if you had your choice? Go on then.
Well, I haven't seen who's already qualified. Well, I've seen one team that have already qualified, and you know where I'm going with this, Mr. Gates. You know where I'm going with this. Someone mentioned it on someone mentioned it on Twitter earlier today. I'd love to see Marseille come to the London Stadium, and I'd love to see a Mr. Mark Noble come off the bench and absolutely rattle some little snake bastard towards the end of the game. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll be honest with you. There's part of me that would love a Lazio to come to the London Stadium, because you can imagine what it means to that man Di Canio. If Lazio were to come to the London Stadium, you've only got to see that man on Sky Sports Italy yesterday in that absolutely amazing suit. That's all I've got. It was an outstanding suit and tie. So I mean, yeah, Lazio, Marseille, and probably someone out of Spain. To be fair, at the end of the day, we've got to. It doesn't matter who we play. At the end of the day, if we're going to win it, we've got to play them and beat them. So it does. At the end of the day, whether we play them in the opening group rounds, if we're going to go on to win it, or we play them in the final. So let's get it out of the way. But West Ham's Why We Drink posted on Facebook earlier that we've actually got 2 chances at Europe this season, because we can actually, or next season, because we can actually still qualify for the conference if we do finish third in the group stages of the Europa League. So even if we don't qualify for the second lot of matches for the Europa League, we can still. It sounds really bad, doesn't it? We can still qualify for the Europa League conference and take that one on as well. So,
it's the same as the Champions League, isn't it? You get knocked out, you get sort of like finished third in the group stage, and you drop into the Europa League. It's exactly the same.
Gatesy, let's be honest though, if we qualify for the Champions League and just being a bit of a realist right now, we wouldn't finish third in a Champions League with this squad to even have a chance of qualifying for the Europa League as we drop down. So and that's me being a realist. With this side here, we come up against a Dortmund, I don't know, a Real Madrid, and for bullshit sakes, a PSG. No, you're all right. We're finishing fourth in that group. I don't mean to be rude. I don't mean to be, a pessimist. But that's essentially what's happening, unless they spend a good 200 or 300 million this season. So I'd rather be where we are. I think we have a really good chance to go at this league as long as there's some investment.
Mind you say that about the money. I don't know. Did you hear about who won the French league?
Yes.
Yeah.
Jose Fonts, 37 years old. 37 years old. Jose Fonts lifted that title, and I honestly couldn't be happier for him. And I couldn't be happier. It turns out that
how much the squad cost?
Oh, practically nothing, wasn't it?
66 million, which is about a third of what PSG paid for Neymar or Mbappe.
I was going to say practically nothing. £66 million in the grand scheme of things of a football squad is practically nothing.
Neymar's waste of time. That guy. He's missed a penalty as well last night. He's never up for the big games anyway.
No, but Milesy,
he decided to take the easy way out.
Milesy, who would you like to get in the group stage? And I'll tell you what, I've actually got here in front of me. In the group stage at the minute, you've got Sociedad, Frankfurt, Lyon, Betis, Leverkusen, Marseille, Leicester, Napoli, Braga, Lazio, Lokomotiv Moscow, and West Ham United. Not bad.
I wouldn't mind buying Leverkusen, to be honest. I do like a German side.
Well, yeah.
And probably Napoli. I've always liked Napoli as well, or an Italian sort of side. Will it'll be good. I I don't know how it works. Is it pretty much like the Champions League where we not get drawn against any
Yeah.
of them? Is that what seed is? It's like all seeded shit, isn't it?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe it's basically the Europa League is sort of like a smaller version of the Champions League, and the the Europa Conference League is going to be the same again. It's just they're just watered down versions of one another. As I say, you're going to have a situation where if you finish third in the Europa League group stages, you drop into the Conference League. If you win the Conference League, you go into the Europa League next season, so on and so forth. So they're all pretty much.
But we're gonna be going to flipping Russia or wherever. You're gonna have at least one of them. So enjoy it. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, probably for some of them. So yeah, no, if anyone can win the. I'm not saying that anyone can win this competition, Europa League. Fulham got all the way to the final. Do you remember their squad? Like, it's ridiculous.
I think Middlesbrough did as well, didn't they?
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I've with regards to away days, yeah, German and Italy sides sort of do it for me. Spanish, not really too fussed about, to be honest, apart from the weather. But yeah, no, probably the Italian and German side for me.
How about you, Steve?
Oh, the Italian sides for me. I mean, I just love Italy as a country anyway, and I love the way the Italians play football. It's not everybody's cup of tea. The one team I don't want to get is the Russian team. What was it?
Lokomotiv Moscow.
Yeah.
Yes, that's quite a trip.
Well, I've been to Moscow, and you know why you wouldn't want to go there again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, okay, I went in the 90s before there was lots of money ploughed into it. But,
okay.
Russia, the people are lovely. Couldn't want to meet a nicer group of people. But the environment is unbelievably harsh. I was out there at Easter, and there was still 4 foot of snow on the ground.
Yeah.
So that's one place where I go for a holiday, but I wouldn't want to go there to watch a football match because it would be a nightmare.
Well, Scott's just raised the point that we're going to be in pot 3, and then Kent goes on to say that we're going to be in with one of the big boys because of our lack of European campaigns. That was something that I did wonder, and they've just cleared that one up. So we're going to face one of the heavier hitters of European football as far as that competition is concerned. But even so, I'm not being funny. If David Moyes can use whatever money he's given, whether it's 50 million, 80 million, or anything in and around that, then I think that we've got a shot. I really do. Because even if being funny, nobody thought we were going to make 6, so why not?
I'm not being funny, Gatesy, as well. Is it say for example, if you lose both of the games to the top side and you get good results in the others, you've still got a good chance of going through to the next stage anyway. It's not like one team goes through. So I'm not feeling. I feel confident.
Yeah. Jazz, have you got any preference on who you'd like to see us get drawn against?
Yeah, Lazio. My sons are quite a big fan. We're all big fans of Lazio, so Lazio would be good. Miles, he's saying Napoli. I'd rather stay clear of them because they're going to be the best team in the competition, I think. So I want to stay clear of especially them till the latter end. And maybe Rangers might be a bit of fun. I don't know. so maybe Rangers.
Mark's just said that very thing. He said Lazio in the first stage and Rangers after they drop out of the Champions League. Mind you, they've got to qualify, haven't they? I don't think they go into the Champions League. Yeah, they've got to qualify. So if they lose that, then they drop into the Europa League anyway.
Well, they never qualify, as you remember. No one from Scotland has actually got into the group stages for many years. So, like the winners of the Czech League, Polish League, they've all got to qualify. But to get one over Gerard, we owe him one, don't we, lads? So it'd be good to play them.
Yeah.
I'll take Slavia Prague if they don't qualify for the Champions League. That'd be a day out, wouldn't it? That'd be a day out away at Slavia. Jesus Christ, with the way that the fans are with each other, you only have to really look online and things like that, and the kind of the relationships that are built there. How good would that day out?
Yeah, that'd be like a stag, wouldn't it? Marzi stag. That'd be stag,
I'm
mate.
just
Get an
gonna-
apartment.
I'm just going to wind back to the latter stages of yesterday's game. Now, obviously, Duke, you were watching the game at the same place where I was, your boozer. And towards the end, there was a substitution that was made that concerned you, didn't it?
Yeah, it did, a little bit, I've got to say. And I'd like to know people's opinions for this in the chat. When Declan Rice came off, I was slightly concerned. There was no reason to bring him off. And I get that the job was done, etc., etc. And I know, Gatesy, you said it was just him to get a round of applause from the fans, etc., etc. Part of me, it just seemed like he was saying goodbye. That it was a goodbye substitution, and I'm hoping. Don't get me wrong. I'm praying to God, pardon me, that I read that wrong. But there was just something there that there was no need to do it. There was no reason for it to be done. So yeah, it did concern me a little bit. But tweets that have come out since, his Instagram posts and things like that, and the other players, it's our assault on Europe, and we're going to Europe, from both him and from Lingard as well. Antonio's there putting silly pictures up on Twitter, of where he superimposed the players into, famous landmarks and things like that. So I'm kind of hoping that I did maybe just read a little bit too much into it, but it did at the time. It just felt a bit. It felt a bit like, let's give the boy a chance to say goodbye. These transfer rumours aren't going away. It's you've got Chelsea that are apparently sniffing around again at 80 million. Man United are going to use Lingard in a make weight and to help get that one through. So yeah, I'm hoping the guys there, Kent and Scott. I hope you guys are right. I do. I hope that it is a little bit too much paranoia on my part, and hopefully I've got that one wrong. But that's just how it felt to me at the time it was going on yesterday.
Milesy, your thoughts?
I think he was just running down the clock, mate, to be honest. Noble was already on, and I think he was just shutting up the shop like what he brought Diop on, didn't he, with barely any time left at West Brom as well. So I'm not really looking that much into it, to be honest. And no, Deck will definitely be there next season. We're in Europe. He's what he's achieved this season with him and Souček. I think they want to try it with the bigger boys in Europe. So no, I'm not. Like I said, don't know whether it was on air or the other show. I can still see Deck being here till he's 25. He'll still have at least 10 years at the top level.
Jazz, your thoughts? Are you concerned by the substitution, or?
I missed that bit, so I have to go back and watch it. But that will make sense. Is that why we got 85 million budget then?
Wow. Well, no, but they turned around and said that he's a £100 million player, didn't they?
Well, 15 we were paying back to Sullivan then. Part of his loan, paying back. No, I have to look back, but we've all been in the game so long. Nothing surprises me in football, what we've seen over the years, but it doesn't look like it as far as I'm concerned. It would have definitely looked like it if we hadn't got Europe. Then it's a bit harsh on the kid, sort of, keeping him. So, but now we've got what his target was. I'm sure he had words with the board and the manager at the beginning, and Europe at a minimum must have been mentioned. And I think we've met that. And it's usually like a gentleman's agreement. You get Europe, and especially because of lockdown, and I think we got him for another year at least. Yeah, because of that. Yeah.
I hope so.
Steve, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think there's a few things at play. He's not talking like a lad who wants to go anywhere. He's very, very happy, you can tell. And the other thing I think does play into it is it's Nobes' last season. And I think Deck and Nobes are very close, actually. And I think Deck's going to be around for maybe last season. So I don't see any issues with him at all, him being pulled off. I think he'll be there next season. And a lot of these rumours, all this paper talk, if you go back a year ago, it was the same thing, but different players as make weight. It was the same clubs interested. And for me, a lot of it's just recycled news because there's nothing else to talk about. Moyes has been very clear, hands off, you're not having him. Or you pay a ridiculous amount of money just after a pandemic to get him. No, I can't see him going. I think he wants to stay and see this season through with us. Whether we've got him season after next, don't know. Depends how we do. But we'll just have to wait and see. But I'd be surprised if he goes in the summer. Look at it that way.
Yeah. Well, those of you watching at home might have noticed, and Scott certainly did, Peach is in the building. Talk to me, Peach.
You know? That's the European tour, dog. Hold on, yes.
Oh, mate, talk to me. Talk to me.
Okay, hold on. I'm getting kicked out of this place yet again. How do you mean?
No!
Always happens. Always happens. Hold on 1 second, dog. Yeah, where did my thing go? Hold on 1 second, dog. Oh, that right here, my juice. Yeah, no worries.
Oh, you gotta love it.
I got kicked out again, dog. Like, see, it's like, no, I'm in like the posh area just now, dog. I'm in like, hold on.
They don't want the riffraff.
Yo, it's Posh Peach. Hello, yes, it's Posh Peach. Yeah. Oh,
That's scarily good.
Jolly hockey sticks.
That is scarily good.
Yo, no, I just got kicked out. Like, some man came up to me. He's like, "This is private property." Like, that's happened like 2, 3, 4 times, dog. Like, what the fuck, man? Excuse my language. Sorry, excuse my language. But I'm gonna find my. Hold on 1 second. But I nicked their sign. And the man saw me nick their sign and said, "Please check in," because I was like, "Please checking in to the European tour." And he saw me nick their sign, and then he was like, "This is private property. You need to get out." So I was like, "All right." So I'll go on local land. So I'm on local land now. Yo, what's up, Jazz? What's up, Steve? What's up, Duke? Dookie, baby! What's up, Gatesy? How you mean, man? Andy, Miles, 100 miles of running. Do you believe it, man? We're in Europe. Like, we're in Europe. Like, who would have thunk it last year? Who would have thunk it, man? Who would have? And it's nuts. And everything you guys are talking about makes like absolute sense. Like 85 million, if we get that for Moyes to like muck around with. I want what Freshie said, man. Like, I think David Moyes will bargain hunt things, dog. Honestly, I think he'll be like the bargain hunter, like that stupid tosspot that does the bargain hunter things. Like, I think we'll bargain hunt things, dog. Straight up. I honestly do, man. Like, yeah. That's my opinion. That's my like Jerry Springer final thoughts things, like straight up.
Peach.
Crickets.
A little birdie tells me that you've got a show tomorrow around about 7 p.m. Talk to me.
No, not me, dog. Not me, dog. But me
Give it a shout out, mate.
Crazy, me have a show, you crazy, man? What's that about, dog? What's that about, dog? Holy.
You're being too modest. Give it a plug.
Yo, so what? West Ham Random, Peach and Frankel show, Adam Frankel, Peach. We got a show tomorrow, 7 o'clock UK time, 2 o'clock Eastern time, and we'll just we'll be happy to like have like 1 or 2 people like join in and fun, man. That's it. We're just gonna have fun, man. Straight up.
That's what it's all about. And to be
Yeah,
fair,
100%, man.
given the season that we've had, chaps, we ought to be having fun, oughtn't we?
That's it.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
That's it.
So,
Duke, I can't
final
wait to
thoughts
come
from-
to your pub. I can't wait to come to your pub, Duke. Straight up.
I can't wait to welcome you through the door.
We'll be watching West Ham in the Premier League in your pub, and then we'll be on beaches at like Seville, however you say it. Like, yo, oh, I can't wait. We made Europe, dog. Are you guys not like as happy as I am? We made blood clot Europe, dog. Like, yo, that is big.
Yeah, it certainly is a big thing. I mean, like I say, when you consider where we finished last season and how much of a struggle last season was to how much enjoyment we've actually had out of this season, and just how good this season has been with regards to you know what, for the most part keeping us sane. I mean, if I'm honest with you, the way the previous year has been, it's been hard.
Yeah.
It's been a hard year to take. And I can imagine for fans of Fulham and for West Brom, Sheffield United, it's been a harder year to take when you watch your football team, struggle. You take a bit of solace, and that's what we can do. Now we've had such a good season that it's actually helped us take our mind off of the bullshit that's been going on in everyday life, for want of a better word. We've been able to have some massive enjoyment. And just to plug it, because I will be buying it, West Ham clips his DVD of all the games so far this season. I will be buying that DVD for about £8. I'm definitely having that as part of my collection because that looks absolutely outstanding.
Love it.
So, guys, we're coming towards the end of the broadcast, so I'm going to go to Jazz first of all. Jazz, not just about yesterday's performance, but the sort of like the broader season. Your thoughts on it? Put some meat on the bones.
Yeah, I think it's been well above anyone's expectation. We all just wanted to be safe, not go down with about a month to go. We smashed that. And it's more about the difficult sort of time everyone's had with the virus. And don't forget that the last season ending, this one starting, there was about 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the most. So it's been a really long, what seems like nearly 2 years in my head. It's just really draining.
Yeah.
So I think what everyone should do is relax, enjoy, totally switch your mind off football for a while, come back, 6 weeks time, fully refreshed, ready to go, hit Europe, meet everyone face to face at the ground, have pints, so everyone stay healthy really and really enjoy it, and don't worry too much about next season. I think we need to switch off. I think just enjoy ourselves. Hopefully the weather will pick up. I heard it's going to be 24 degrees on Saturday. I'm going for a nice spa break for my birthday, so I'll be in Leamington Spa with my wife. It was my birthday on Friday, so looking forward to that.
Happy birthday, man. Happy birthday,
21
Jazz.
again.
20.
21.
Next year,
Trust
21.
Trust me.
Good man. Yourself.
Yeah. Don't worry too much about next season at the moment. Just enjoy it. And it's time for Mr. Sullivan to work and for us to relax now.
Definitely. Steve, the season, your thoughts?
Well, it's left me totally confused. We got the end of the season. I'm happy with the players we've got. I'm delighted with our manager.
What the hell has just happened there?
I dropped my phone again. I'm sorry, Steve. Go on. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Steve. I thought he'd just killed himself.
Well, I thought he'd been hit by a car.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Putting yourself on the live stream is not allowed, okay? That's
Yeah. We don't need that sort of publicity.
No, certainly not. What I was saying is, as a West Ham fan, I'm happy with the team. I'm happy with the manager. I'm happy with the direction of the club. I'm happy with our performances. I'm completely confused because usually this time of year I'm raging about something. And I've got nothing to do. It's been an absolutely fabulous season. And the highlights for me have been Lanzini's goal for 3-3.
Yeah.
Following the Spurs guys' tweet, it's all about levels. They bring on Bale. Sorry, we bring on Bale. They bring on Lanzini.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten about that.
I know, me too. Until he said that, me too. I remember he was like right in on goal, and then he got pushed, and like he went off balance. I love that.
It was watching the Spurs fan cams the day after that result, and seeing a bunch of Spurs supporters almost suicidal. It's been taking the pee out of my brother-in-laws and nephews who are Spurs and Arsenal respectively, and it's been about just generally torturing Arsenal supporters today by going up to them and saying, "I'll support the team in the top 6 this year then, shall I?" One of them is my boss. And it's, I've had so much stick for so many years from all these fans that, boy, has it been payback. And I've loved that. And I've got to say, the game against Burnley, when we played against Burnley, our passing game then was a thing of beauty. And that is my favourite performance of the season. The way we played against Burnley, the passing, the moving, it was just elegant. And I think that will be one of my big takeaways from the season. So, yeah, superb. Loved it.
Cool. Titch, talk to me. Season. Magnificent, wasn't it?
These bloody kids.
You love them.
Say that again.
You love them, really. And just remember, if you're struggling, just remember that if things go really bad, bone marrow. That's your bone marrow right there.
Exactly. No.
Word up.
Oh, God.
Talk to me about the season. Your thoughts. It's been 38 games of not that we could have ever wrote that. I mean, you wouldn't have believed it if you'd have scripted it, would you?
No. I had this conversation earlier. I've just come back from training, but to one of the boys, he's like a Chelsea fan. I said, the season is 38 games, and we started off shocking. The Newcastle performance was bad. I thought we were going down there. Arsenal, I think we should have got something out of the game, but obviously we lost. So we lost the first 2 games. So for us to, in the next 36, get 19 wins, which is obviously more than we've ever done, more points than we've ever done in the Premier League. The season is, we missed out on the Champions League by 2 points, but I just think the season has been amazing. And some people said, today, he was like, I think the games are Everton and Chelsea sort of. I said, you can't look at it like that. It's over a season. We can't isolate a game, so that's where we didn't get in the Champions League. It doesn't work like that. But just going to Leicester quickly, I would isolate them and say they did actually bottle it, because they've been there last season. They was winning at home to Spurs, who kind of didn't have much to play for. They're in front of their fans, and they ended up losing. So they bottled it. West Ham at no point this season have bottled it. We had a few poor performances against Man United, Liverpool, where it's like an inferiority complex. But generally, the season has been amazing. And it's going to be hard to top this season. It really is going to be hard to top this season.
I'm not being funny, but I think the only thing that we've missed out on, the only reason we've missed out on Champions League, in my opinion, is injuries. That's the only reason.
100%.
If we didn't get the injury to Declan Rice, didn't get the injuries to Antonio,
and
we made top 4. And O'Connor. Yes, massively.
Those 3.
No. Yeah. I mean, we all knew that the paper-thin squad was going to cost us at some point, and unfortunately, it cost us at just the wrong time. But listen, I'm not complaining. 6th place. Brilliant.
From the start of the season.
Mosey.
6th place, yeah.
Hello.
Mosey, your thoughts on the season in general?
To be honest, the best The highlights for me is beating the teams in the bottom half. I think it's only like Newcastle and someone else who we've dropped points or lost to. So that's totally different than what we've done in any other season. And there's 3 games which stick to mind, which are my highlights. And it was the Leicester away performance when we won 3-0. That was a very good performance. Obviously beating Spurs at home because it's Spurs. You don't really need to say anything else about that. And I thought some of the football and defending we played in that game, and I remember like Declan Rice's tackle, etc. And the other game was the 1-0 victory at home to Fulham, because last season we would have lost that or drawn that.
Oh yeah.
So it's the team's characters and stuff when we. But the thing what surprised me is how many goals we've scored. We don't just normally score 1 goal, really, have we? So that's the highlight for me. So yeah, no, really good performance, and like you said, the Hammer of the Year's never been so tough, has it, to be picked?
Can we all
Has that been announced yet?
Who's your Hammer of the Year? Like everybody.
Coufal.
Coufal, 100. 100, man. And no,
I've heard that Soucek's going to get it.
Yo, when you saw those like 6 pictures, whatever, before the league started, and we got like results out of those, that showed me like we're not a team to be reckoned with, especially after the Newcastle Arsenal defeat, man. Like, it was madness, man.
Yeah. Final thoughts, Duke, on the season.
I mean, listen, if you'd said to me back in, August, September time that we'd be fighting for Europe, we'd be fighting for Champions League with 4 games to go and still being in with a shot of Champions League, like I said, Gatesy, I would have laughed at you. There's no way in the world that I saw this season, taking the shape, and as was mentioned earlier, them first 2 defeats of the season, absolutely piss poor against Newcastle. Felt we should have got something against Arsenal as well. And then to go and do what we've done this season, these boys are up there with the boys of '86 as far as I'm concerned. Considering the turnaround, the boys of 21 and the boys of '86, I'm just privileged that I was alive for both of those seasons. They talk about the Bilic and was it 15, 15, 16. These boys have outshone that. Fo's just said it there, missed out by Champions League by 3 points. I think we ended up 4 points. I was at 2 points and we missed. Yeah. I think we missed.
If we'd have got the extra 2 points, we still would have missed out.
Yeah, but I'm saying we were only 2 points behind them. Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, and it was 4 points, 3 or 4 points from from Liverpool as well. So let's not mess around. This season has absolutely gone beyond every single one of our wildest dreams. None of us could have anticipated this. None of us could have expected it. For me, I'm just gonna drink it all in over the next, these next few days. Seeing all of these, posts that the club are putting out on social media, the Facebook stuff, the European pictures. Seeing what the players are sharing. I'm just gonna drink it in for the next couple of days. Enjoy it. I'm going to enjoy the Euros. Let's not mess around. We've waited a long time for these Euros to come round after last season's, it all being cancelled. So I'm going to enjoy that. And then to be honest with you, I'm not even thinking about next season right now. I'm just going to enjoy what's just finished. I'm looking forward to the Euros once that's out of the way. You know what? Let's take a run at Europe. Let's really take a run at Europe. Let's really go out and get some players that are going to be able to do a job and prove uber wrong. Let's just enjoy what's happened and just wait and see what follows. Because I tell you what, next season is going to be something just as special with a good European run. I really do. And I think I really do think, as we mentioned earlier, if Fulham and Borough can get to the final with the teams that they had, we've really got to be thinking that we're going to be one of the teams that should be there or thereabouts. But like I say, that's next season. I'm going to enjoy what's just finished. I'm going to drink it all in, rub some noses in it when they come into my pubs, the Spurs, the Arsenal,
you let them in your pub? You let Spurs fans in your pub?
I do, just to take the piss. That's
my
around.
wife's a Spurs fan. What do you do?
Yeah, I have to let her. I have to let her in. She scares me.
My wife. Yeah. What can I say? She can cook. I can't. So.
Realistically,
before I give my thoughts, sorry,
I was gonna say, like, what is everybody expecting? I know, like, Gatesy has said, and I understand. Yeah, we need to enjoy the moment. What is people expecting for next season in regards to Europe and the league? Like, what is people realistically expecting us in this chat?
It depends, in my opinion, on what business we do in the summer. To be perfectly honest with you, Titch. I mean, I try to be reasonably optimistic about things, but I know that we had a paper thin squad this season, and we kind of. I don't want to say we've got away with it, because that makes it sound like I'm underplaying the achievement. I don't want to do that, but an extra competition next season. Yeah, we need to do some major surgery, mate. We need to do some major surgery. But if there's one guy that I think can maximise any budget that he's given, whether it's 85 million, whether it's 50 million, or whatever the budget he's going to be given in the summer, if there's a manager that I've got total faith will maximise that value, it's David Moyes.
Yeah, he's. I really respect what he's done, man. Like, more than I can sort of express. And someone was saying to me today, there's some people saying West Ham because we didn't get. I think I don't really do social media, so I haven't seen it. But I'm saying anybody that's saying that his place should be under question is a fool. Seriously.
Yo! I got an ex-West Ham fan up in the plate. Yo, West Ham up in the house. Just walking by and ran into my man. They're everywhere, guys. They're everywhere. Ran into my man.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
I hope he's not a new one.
Make sure you subscribe.
I hope he won't.
You guys enjoy it. Yeah, man. You guys take care. We're on the European tour.
Take care, buddy.
I don't know.
Where? How?
Oh, look! Who's this Uber Eats guy? Who's this Uber Eats guy?
I think his glass is half empty rather than half full. To be fair, I know what he's saying. Because I can't sort of argue against it. He's right. Last time we had a European excursion, we did have a battle against relegation, but I'm trying to be glass half full, guys. We
didn't have Moisey in charge. We didn't have Super. We didn't have Declan Rice.
Exactly.
We didn't have Super Check. Nah.
Different time, different place, different set of players.
We ain't gonna be no. I don't know whether we're gonna get sixth place again, but we'll be all right, man. I think in both competitions we're gonna do all right.
Yeah. I think with the right signings, we can challenge for top 6, top 8, as Fo's just said there. I think we can get out of the group stages of the Europa League, and I think we can really take a good run at that tournament. I think with the right signings and being very shrewd with the free signings, the free transfers, I have no reason to think that we can't go all the way in the Europa League. I think, honestly, there are some good sides in there, but wait a minute, we're one of those. Let's not lose sight of the fact that we've just finished top 6. Let's not lose sight of the fact that up until 2-3 games before the end of the season, we were still in with a shot of Champions League. So we need to be considered by ourselves, mainly, as one of the teams in this tournament that can win it. We've got to stop thinking of what the team was last season and being relegation fodder. This season, we finished top 6, guys. So going into next season, we've got to be considered as a very tough team to beat in that Europa League competition. And with the right signings, we can win that. honest to God, I think we can win it.
Well,
Who-
100, man.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're right
Yeah.
about the free signing. Who is available on a free that's gonna strengthen us? Because I haven't even thought about free transfers. Do you not know anything?
Oh,
I think we're going to do a stream on that, aren't we, Duke?
We are the next couple of days. I think me and Gatesy are going to put something together. But just to throw a couple of names, not free transfers, Peach, we're talking about, but
He won't be free, Peach.
the Israeli fellow we mentioned earlier, Dor Peretz, he's a CDM. He's available on a free. Apparently, very Maccabi Tel Aviv. 10 goals, 9 assists, and they've still got 3 games to go. And as I mentioned earlier, I get that it's the Israeli league, but it's difficult to kind of go, 10 goals, 9 assists, woo! But it is the Israeli league again, so you've got to bear that into consideration. But when you think that, players like Yossi Benayoun and Eyal Berkovic came out of that league at some point in their career, you can't knock that. Ryan Bertrand's on a freebie from Southampton.
I think
Danny Ings is Danny Ings on a freebie this year? Is his contract run out? Is that next year?
Yo,
that's next year, isn't it?
Messi's on a free, man.
Messi's on a free, and we can offer him European football. Peach, you're right. You're right.
I think you're being overly optimistic there, Peach.
Ryan Bertrand.
Oh, no, I know. I'm taking the piss.
Yeah, he'd be decent. He'd be decent. But
we can play a centre back as well, can't he? So, but no. I mean, listen, we've got a couple of shows coming up on that, Gatesy, haven't we? Like the one we're going to do with James. We're going to do a kind of random players that no one's really heard of, kind of bargain basement kind of things that we think we could get players in for a decent amount of money.
Looking for the diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, and then I've got a couple of youngsters on the on my notepad that I've been having a little look at. Doing a little bit of scouting, using a few scouting websites and stuff that I've kind of 17, 18-year-olds, especially some of the ones that are coming out of Brazil. The problem is they're going to be on the radars quite quickly as some of the the bigger boys in Europe, Barca, Madrid, Bayern, Man U, Liverpool. So, but to be fair, as I've already said, we consider ourselves one of those big boys now. We just finished 6th in the Premier League.
Exactly.
We finished higher than Spurs. We finished higher than Arsenal. Does that make us a more proposition? Does it make us a more exciting proposition to be coming to us next season than going to Spurs or Arsenal? Of course it does. We've got a bigger European competition than Spurs, and Arsenal, well, they're just, hovering somewhere in 8th place. So as far as I'm concerned, we're an attractive proposition. So, I think it's about time we start looking at a few of these youngsters that have some cracking sell-on value. I'm not being funny. Bringing a 17-year-old and bring him through till he's 23, 24, a la Declan Rice, and these, especially some of these Brazilian fellas these Brazilian kids that just look something special. There's one lad, I think I sent it to Gatesy the other day, and Andy, we were talking about it, and he's actually rated as a 10 out of 10 future prospect as being one of these, at the moment he's only 17, he's a centre back, and I think he's been likened to a combination of Pepe, Ramos, PK, all of these kind of top centre backs. So and he can play football. I've seen a couple of videos of him. So he's comfortable with a ball at feet. So we're going to be doing a video on the youngsters. We're going to be doing a video on some diamonds in the rough. So keep an eye out for those, because I think they'll spark some interesting debates.
Hey, Duke, whatever happened to Cardoso, man?
I don't know. To be honest with you, mate, I just think he kind of. I just think there was a lot of talk about him, a lot of big expectations. He's come in, and he's just not delivered. It's the same with Balbuena and Diop, though, buddy. I just don't think they've come in and they've not set the world on fire like we expected them to. I think if we sell Diop, I think we're probably going to end up taking a bit of a loss on him, which seems to be the norm. Oh, Foe, all day long, my friend, all day long on that comment. If he is available, if he is available, I would take that man.
Oh,
I'd literally.
He's had a few injuries though, dude.
Who? Draxler?
Mate, I'd take Draxler all day long, mate. I'd take Draxler
injuries.
all day
That's
long.
the only thing that worries me.
Outstanding. And same as who was the guy that Palace let go? He's back in Germany now. Who was that? That was
Max Meyer.
Max Meyer. How he's not been in that Palace side and playing regularly before they released him. He was fantastic. So I don't know how they managed to turn a fantastic talent into, you know, someone that you let go on a freebie after signing him for so much money, you know, 18 months beforehand.
Yeah. Well, before we wrap it up, guys, I'm just going to say, just bring this comment back up that Scott put up, and I'm going to say a little thank you to Gonzo on Hammer's chat, because yesterday when he was doing his pre-match stream for the Southampton game, I sent a little message through on the live chat just saying about my daughter Elizabeth, or Libby, and she played a game of football yesterday. She scored a goal, and it was against the team that was the division above them. They won 5-3. They were 4-0 up at halftime. She scored a goal, and she got player of the match. And I put a message to Gonzo on the live stream, asking him to give her a shout out. And like the gentleman that he is, he did just that. And there was a load of people saying in the live chat, congratulations to Libby, blah, blah, blah. And she even had West Ham clips turn around and make a comment about it. So she was well chuffed. So, yeah, she's my daughter, and I'm super proud of her. As I am all my kids. She's 13. She's 13. And she's absolutely smashing it. 3.
Oh.
3. She's got 2 17-year-old brothers, twins. God help me.
Oh.
So too many, Gatesy, yeah?
Yeah, well, one of them works with you, as we know, so...
Yeah.
Yeah. Right, before I wrap it up, I'm just going to do my usual shout-out to young Isla. I'm going to go full screen with this, guys. Do forgive me. For those of you that don't know, this young lady needs our help, guys. She is a 6-year-old girl battling against a really rare form of cancer called neuroblastoma. There ain't no treatment for this on the NHS. So her family, in the middle of this pandemic that we're all going through the ringer with this over the last 12 months. But just put yourself in this position, guys. This little girl is fighting for her life. She's got to jump on a plane with her family, who have got to put their entire life on hold. They've got to pay for the flights. They've got to pay for the treatment. They've got to pay for the accommodation, their living costs, the bills that are still coming in the UK. Guys, I appreciate that we've all had a tough time of this last 12 months, but just put yourself in this position. Hell on earth. In the description below the video is what I've put on this banner, and you've got a PayPal and a Just Giving page. Now, if you've got any spare funds that you can put into this to help this little girl, help this this family out, please do. We would encourage you. This is not something that is just down to us, guys, at Forged from Iron. This is not something that is exclusive to us. The whole YouTube community, West Ham fan YouTube channels are behind this as one. We need to get this girl the treatment. It's real simple, because it's a race against time, and I wish I could paint this any other way, but if she don't get this treatment, her time on this earth is rather limited. So we need to try and come together, as whether it's West Ham fans, whether it's football fans, or whether it's just decent human being guys. We need to try and come together. So if you can, donate what you can. The more the merrier. But do us a favor. Copy it from the description below the video. Put it onto your social media. Send it to your friends and family. Just get it out there. Let's try and keep the momentum behind this campaign, guys, because, like I say, time really is of the essence. And I thank you very much indeed for your attention. So, guys, I am going to wrap it up there. But I'm going to give my thoughts on the season before I do.
I want to thank you.
Peach.
I know, I don't stop doing that. I want to thank you for letting me give that shameless plug for West Ham Random, Pete and Franco show, and yo, where's the man there? Honest Fans United. Straight up, man. Big thing. Big thing to go on. Straight up.
Mark, I've just seen a comment in the chat. Mark saying, is she available on a free? Mate, West Ham couldn't afford her.
Yeah, let's get her on the squad, dog. I mean.
Honestly, they could not afford my daughter. Certainly not as far as I'm concerned. So, so before I hit end broadcast, guys, I've obviously got all of your thoughts on the season, and I'm going to give mine. And I can wrap it up in 3 words, ladies and gentlemen. We conquered Everest. Job
and
done.
Kilimanjaro at the same time.
Yeah, we conquered Everest. That's what we've done. Milesy, what are we?
We are fucking massive.
Fucking massive. Tell him, Milesy. Milesy, that's your thing.
And the rest
Tell
of you
him,
guys,
dog. What are we?
Sign us out.
Fucking massive.
Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.
Yes, come on, you Irons.
Stay safe, guys. We'll see you again soon.
Nice one.